Empires of the Undergrowth, Mission 1.2, Subjugation, Insane Difficulty. Let's go. Alrighty, we start off as we always start off, with absolutely nothing and a couple of workers. So let them gather some food and start by digging out a nice little area like so. Okay, once we've dug it out, this is for our warrior ants. We're also going to dig some food tiles over here by the entrance where our enemies are going to come in, because they're not going to go for the food, they're just going to go for the eggs. Next, we're going to dig out up here and get this woodworm and just keep gathering the food and building out your ants. You should be able to get a ton of soldier ants at the start, simply because of the amount of food that's lying around. Now it's time to build a nice little path like so. Get going, just go straight across like this. You won't bump into any funnel webs on the far left, but you will bump into this one up top. Make sure that your food and combat is disabled on your workers, and make sure that your food is disabled on your warriors. Make sure you snap the necks of all these coach horses, and obviously ensure that you do not have food gather on. If you have food gather on, your soldier ants will go towards the funnel web and will get eaten, like so. Just ignore it. Just don't touch it. Just ignore it. So flick your food gather on over here. Your ants will gather all the food and completely ignore the funnel web. And then make sure to turn it off as they're on the return trip, so that they don't go into the nest and attack or get attacked by the funnel web spider. Obviously keep building up your forces and make sure that you just rinse, wash and repeat this. And yeah, gather all this food without touching the damn funnel web. Do not touch the spider. Okay, so the reason why we don't touch the funnel web spider is because when you kill the funnel web spider, you actually start triggering the invasion. So that's why we're going to gather as much food as possible without setting it off. Without setting off the invasion force. That's why we're doing it this way. With all that food gathered, then you want to start moving over to the right here and opening up a bunch of these pockets. The reason why we're doing it this way is to save us time later when we're gathering the food. Again, make sure that your combat's off and start digging out this area. This area up top here is where we're going to shove our workers. So don't forget the two down here. They're going to be the first ones that we're going to get. Right, time to start triggering the event. So we're going to get in, make sure food gathers off, of course, and murder off the spider. This first group, primarily, will not be gathering food. We're going to save that for our workers, which we're going to build in a second. Now, these workers are going to be our primary food gatherers, and they're also going to be sort of assistance when we get into the later levels. Well, now that we've got a ton of ants, we're able to overwhelm these spiders pretty damn quickly. And as you can see, I've really not put too much thought into it. Just send them in there. They'll overwhelm it. It's not a big issue. You only need a full stock of 19 soldiers. You just fully upgrade them. That should be enough to get you through the mission. So the soldiers will sit and occupy you, whilst the other lower level workers will come in and grab your eggs. Don't worry if you lose one or two, it's not a big deal, it's just the majority that we want to prevent. Next, get up to the right here, not just because it's nice and easy, but because there's a nice pocket of woodworm that we can grab for some bonus food. By this point, you guys are getting the idea. You make sure the workers don't have the combat on, so that they can just gather the food and keep dropping it for us, and make sure your soldier ants fight off as much as possible. By this point, you should start having level 3s, and you should really start overwhelming these spiders. You could take on the 2, 3 at a time. It really doesn't matter now. The losses are minimal compared to the amount of food that we're getting in. And also, we're getting very close to finishing our objectives. So as you can see, the raids are starting to come faster and faster. And this is where our early setup has helped us. Now we're almost done upgrading our soldier ants, and the worker ants right at the end are going to be really quick and easy to do, because they're nice and cheap. Soldiers upgraded. Now just to upgrade the workers. Just start smashing those upgrades on, same as before. Nice and easy. You can overwhelm these critters here, or you could just leave it. You pretty much have enough food to deal with this yourself by now. So next raid's on the way. It didn't take very long. Like I say, it starts to snowball really quick until you're overwhelmed. This is why we start the way we start. This is why we do it this way. Right, beautiful. Now that that's all done, we can just simply move our workers in for the final battle. We have a shit ton of food, we have a shit ton of ants, and we got this in the bag. Yeah, this wave should be pretty meager. You should be killing 90% of this, and whatever's left doesn't really matter. And it leaves you with this lovely little screen right here.
Once again, the slave makers return to their nest with new black ant larvae to raise as their own. The raids will continue, but this Formica fusca colony has proved its capacity to endure and grow. Eventually they will surpass their parasitic overseers, and the continued raids of the slave makers will reduce to nothing more than a mere inconvenience for the great Black Ant Empire.
Lovely. So pretty easy, right? That is how we do it. So thank you everybody so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.